Hello, my Leo Intuitors. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel and for taking a minute to view, or a few minutes to view the reading I'm putting out here for you for now, from now until the end of the year, from December 15th through the 31st. And I'm taking a look at some Lenormand cards first to kind of give a context and an overall picture of the situation, and then we'll dive deeper by looking at some tarot cards as well. So if you have any questions at the end of the reading and you would like some further clarification for you, write your question in the comments below, and I'll be really more than happy to pull a few cards and give you a reply. I think it'll be a really fun way for us to interact. And I also do private readings, so if you are interested in one of those, reach out to me through the information that's in the comments below. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. So here I have laid out the cards for the Lenormand spread, and I usually just do, I gotta pull out my Leo little card here so we'll see what this is about. This is about our Leos. Sun, Moon, and Rising, or Venus. Cross watch if something in one reading doesn't quite resonate, maybe another one will for you. So this is a very interesting spread. I'll just have to say right now that whoever this is going through some really, really hard times. If you're cross-watching and this is your counterpart in a love situation, and they're the Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Venus, then they're going through some really tough time. If this is you, it's you going through a tough time, and let's just go ahead and take a look at what's all transpiring here. First of all, the whip in the center talks about a lot of arguments and disagreements and things like that. And when it's paired with the stork, which is usually a pretty positive card, it actually just means there's been a quarrel or a confrontation. Like things are really coming to a head in this situation. So there have been a lot of secrets. There's been secret knowledge, hidden information. Somebody hasn't been open, and they've been kind of sliding around and slithering around the topic. They haven't just come out and dealt with things, and they've kind of kept them under wraps. And it could be that's what is happening here with the quarrel, that the quarrel takes place, the big fight, the big it's all coming to a head. And if we had more positive cards around here, we would see that this is all, I feel like overall there will be a positive outcome to this situation all coming to a head because it needed to, but for right now it's not a very fun one. There's been a separation. The Tower and the Mountain are cards that talk about like distance. It can talk about your roots and kind of going back to where you originally came from, but in most cases, I don't think that's what's really what's happening here. It's some other meanings where it talks about being lonely and about standing alone in the face of a situation or obstacle. And I feel like this is the whole situation, the obstacle here. It hasn't been an easy one. There have been secrets. There's a lot of things that have been hidden and kept away from the other person in this situation. So, if this is you and this is the situation you're in, somebody has been holding back from you. Somebody hasn't been forthright and honest, and it's going to come to a head here. But that, of course, in the long run can be a good thing. It's just going to be tough when it's kind of playing out. So let's just take a look here at some more. I'd like to have some more cards, Spirit, about the situation that Leo is facing right now, and what they can best do, what would be the advice on how to deal with it. And because there are arguments, and I feel like there's somebody who's been holding secrets, I feel like there is separation and distance, and there's going to be kind of a big blow up here. I am going to take a look at two different people, so I'll be pulling cards here to kind of take a look at what's going on with these two different individuals and what's happening between them at this time. So very interesting. We have the Hermit, the Four of Cups, which is going within, and the Seven of Wands, which is about resistance. Actually, I might need to change the exposure on this as we're getting a better look here. There we go. That might be a little bit better to see these darker cards. I'm sorry, my lighting right now has just been a little bit tough, going from one view to another. Where am I better off? Oh, there we are. That's a little bit better that way. Okay, so we have the Hermit here, And that is talking about being alone. It is going within for, sometimes it's just going into a cave because you can't handle, there's a lot of toxicity here. It's a difficult situation and there is a need to go within, but there's also light to be had by going within. And so whether this is you or the other person, if there is a timeout, if there is some holding back, if there is separation, that separation I feel like right now is a good thing. The Four of Cups is a card that talks about somebody who is feeling very dissatisfied and unhappy, but then the Seven of Wands is they're really going to resist and stand up. And so I feel like it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 here. So we have the Four of Cups. There's been a dissatisfaction and unhappiness here, and not really wanting what's being offered, and this isn't what I want. And then going within for a time here, and then finding from going within, finding the ability to stand up to the situation. And it could be, when you stand up, that's when the argument comes forward. Things come to a blow when you stand up. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the other person. So, I do feel like in the other person's situation, it's really about the money. And, we didn't see the money coming up here, but for them it is. I feel like for one person in the situation, whether this is you or them, or you might be cross-watching for someone else who's in another situation, but regardless, there's one of these counterparts. I don't think that money is really on the mind of this hermit right now. I think it's other things. Cups talks about emotions, Wands talks about passion, but this person over here is about swords. It's all of their thoughts and their mental frustration. They have felt defeated. They or maybe even I feel like this person in this situation, he has a very calculated, and it's kind of like the snake. The snake is a cool and calculating figure, and the snake has had secrets with the book. The book is about secrets, and this person has had their secrets, and holding them in has, that's cool and calculating of them, and it's caused this other person to go away. So the other person, the counterpart here, is the hermit, and they're walking away. They're turning their back, and they're walking away and leaving, and they're just going within for trying to find an answer to this situation, because it's just not something they want to deal with. They don't like it. It's not something they want, and so they're walking away. But they are going to come back and stand up. This person, I feel like it is about the money, and they have, they've been holding on to whatever they're holding on to because of the money. There's money in the situation involved, but this person also needs to move on. And I will just have to say too that in a lot of situations, when I'm looking at this spread right here, there's just like a lot of negativity, and it might come to blows and everything, and there might be like a toxic environment and situation going on between these two people, but it doesn't make one person a bad person just because they've had secrets that they've kept. Not necessarily that they're a bad person, it's just that the situation hasn't been good for either party, and I feel like kind of that is what's really at play here. It's not been a good situation, so this person needs to leave and move, leave the situation and move on as well. But that Ten of Pentacles has been what has kept them. The money they've stayed around because of the money, and but it is time for them to move on. So let's just take a look at kind of like an outcome here for our Leos in this situation. What can we see as the result here? Have a lot of look here. Oh, and more moving on. So we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups here. And there's a full moon, and I do feel like they're showing me that right now. And this person here is moving on too, but I feel like overall there's moving on happening between them, for both of them. This has not been a good situation, and it could be that when the full moon here coming up toward the end of the month can be maybe within the next week or so. And justice, so if there has been a marriage here, there could be a divorce happening, I do feel, because we have just this moving on and the toxic situation. And there's Six of Cups. This is a soulmate. This person is a soulmate, so but maybe a karmic kind of soulmate situation that's already served its purpose, and it's done, it's over, it's time to move on and time to let it go. And the Nine of Wands is, I'm feeling like, well, I have the Seven of Wands over here, and this is the Leo energy, so I really feel like for most of you guys, this is the Leo energy here that is, standing up for themselves now, and resisting the situation as it has been. They stood still, and they anchored into it and they kind of held the ground that they were in for a long time. But this is like more of a moving forward with it. There's like, no, I'm not okay with this anymore. I'm not going to just stand there with my guard up. Now I'm going to take action. Like this guy is somebody who takes action, and I do feel like that's what is taking place here. The conversation, the blow up, I shouldn't say conversation, because it's not a conversation. This is a blow up. This is a big argument that takes place, and it happens. And I do feel like that does happen, and that's the judgment call. We have the judgment, the call for, stepping into the situation really is such that both people needed to move on. And maybe there's been resistance to it because of money, but that's over, and they're listening to that call, and that the call is being heard. So I do think that even though this is kind of a tough picture right now, Leo, that in the long run it is going to be for the best, and good luck to you. So again, if you have any questions, or would you like some further clarity about anything in this reading, please make a comment in the section below, and I hope to see you around. Thanks.